Hello and welcome to another edition of It's Your City. I'm Bob Crowell and I have the honor and privilege of being the mayor of the greatest city in Nevada, our very own capital, Carson City. As you know, I haven't been on for a while here. The schedule has just been kind of difficult, so bear with me here because I've got to get back in the groove a little bit. Let me talk about some things that have been going on, and then I'll talk a little bit about the board that we had last week, and then maybe some other things going on around the community. First, if you haven't signed up to go on a Virginia and Truckee Railroad Polar Express, I think you should. The other night, my wife and I took our granddaughter on the Polar Express to the North Pole. It was a delightful ride, and they've really done some remarkable things at the North Pole for kids and adults and grandparents and everybody combined. It's just a wonderful trip and a wonderful way to share family and good times. Also, on speaking of good things, I'm advised that there'll be a ribbon cutting and kind of a mini open house at the animal shelter on December 3rd about 4:30. As you know, the Humane Society of Nevada Humane Society is under contract with the city to operate the animal shelter, and they're going to have a ribbon cutting. The other night, several of us attended the Nevada Humane Society fundraiser in Reno. I was joined by Supervisor Aboud and the city manager, and went to their gala at the Atlantis, and they had about 500 people there. It was a wonderful night, a wonderful event, and it just shows that there's a lot of things happening, and a lot of good things happening. And I'm told that the Humane Society the Nevada Humane Society is planning great things for our very own Carson City here, and we'll be hearing more about that as we go through in the future. But they were very pleased that Carson City had a presence at the Reno event. There will be more events down here. Another thing that's happened in our community is perhaps really close to my heart, and that is the opening of the Ash to Kings Canyon Trail that's been worked on for the past few years here. I don't know that the bridges are in over the two streams that kind of bookend each side of the trail, but I've heard, and I haven't had a chance to walk it yet either, but I've heard from people who have been up there either hiking or jogging or riding bikes that it is just an immensely great trail. I thought it was going to be about 6 miles, but I think it turned out to be about 8.2 miles end to end. It's one of the gems of Carson City, and is part of the trail system we're developing in our community. Let me say that there are efforts to make trails not only just in our community but also to tie in with Douglas County, so that we'll have a large trail system in northern Nevada. I want to thank those who donated their time to make this trail, the Ash to Kings Canyon Trail, and in fact a number of our trails around Carson City, a reality. Particular thanks to Muscle Powered, and there's others, the Conservation Corps, AmeriCorps folks, the state, other people who have donated time to help make that a reality. I should also mention, and I will mention, that one person who is always involved in our trails is Jeff Potter. Jeff, I don't know how he finds the time to do it, but he is a master trail builder, as is another person who deserves credit, and that's John McKenna, Supervisor John McKenna, who has been up there cutting a trail. If you haven't been up there to take a look, take a drive up and park, and then go from Ash to Kings Canyon, or just go part way and come on back. It is a beautiful area, and it's a beautiful addition to our community. And while I talk about trails and things, at the last board meeting we were given an overview of the draft open space management plan by our new open space manager, Ann Bollinger, and they have been going through public hearings to create a draft management plan for all the open space that Carson City has in our little combined city and county. And I say little, but we have more open space, I believe, in Carson City than many communities have. We have 6,000 plus acres of open space. Of particular note, we will be receiving in the future here from the Bureau of Land Management Prison Hill, and also there's a small part that we're still waiting for as part of Prison Hill, but that will be coming along with Silver Saddle Ranch. So actually the message of the Board of Supervisors to the open space folks is, let's see if, there's a conservation easement that's on that property right now. Let's make sure that whatever BLM puts on there by way of use restrictions before it's transferred to Carson City are exactly what Carson City wants. And in that regard, it's probably no secret that there's tension's probably too strong a word, but there's concern that off-road vehicles want to share some of that space, as do those who want to hike, bike, and jog in that area, or just recreate in that area. Hopefully those things are getting worked out in the draft management plan. We're trying very hard. I know that the open space folks are trying very hard in order to accommodate the desires of all those who desire to partake of our open space in Carson. The open space in this community is one of its hidden gems, and it is a gem that will start to shine more and more as this century moves forward, and as open space becomes more and more critical for people who desire to live, one, in an urban area, but have the ability to be in a rural setting at the same time. Carson City offers that type of life, that quality of life. And while we're talking about quality of life issues, the board also at the last meeting agreed to close 3rd Street and make what I call a pocket park out of the 3rd Street area between Carson Street and Curry Street. The street would be completely revamped so that there would be the ability to have functions on that street. There would be a stage, a water feature, landscaping, benches, places to just relax, go and relax, or to have evening events. That is a true public-private partnership that is happening on 3rd Street. The partnership, because it will be funded, the guts of it will be funded primarily out of redevelopment to the tune of about $490,000, split over 2 years. On top of that, that really makes the amenities stand out is a $125,000 gift from the McFadden family. The McFadden, Bob McFadden, for those of you who don't know, longtime resident of Carson City who died untimely. Bob was a big one for cleaning up Carson City, and he bought the old St. Charles Hotel and was the first to renovate that hotel. So the McFadden family has a long and rich history with the St. Charles Hotel in that area. And Rob and his wife Heidi and his sister Carson were there at the board meeting to say, we want to put money in. We'd like to have some consideration that this be named the McFadden Plaza or something like that. But they wanted to know, they wanted the community to know that it was important for not only our community but for their family that these things happen on 3rd Street. And it'll be a continual reminder, at least to me, of Bob McFadden, who I remember in many different ways, but in one way that is probably I think of a lot, and that is Bob was a big one on let's clean up Carson City. Let's clean up Carson City. And he was out walking around doing that. When he ran for mayor, he did a lot of that. So I want to give a hearty thanks to the McFadden family for stepping in and stepping up to help make the closure of 3rd Street and the amenities on 3rd Street a truly first-class park. Because when you look at the design, it will tie in with not only the street amenity, the Carson Street amenities that are being planned, but also tie in with the Legislative Plaza right across the street, where the crosswalk will be changed so that you can walk from the Legislative Plaza directly into the middle of the 3rd Street, the 3rd Street pocket park. I think that for those who've been downtown, and I know that for a lot of people who use that legislative building and also the Capitol, that will just be a wonderful way to go from one setting to another setting with well, just a wonderful way to do those things. And while I'm talking about folks who are also participated, I want to make sure that we mention Jenny and Mark LaPiccolo. They own the St. Charles Hotel now. And Jenny and Mark, like Bob McFadden, are, in my view, visionaries for Carson City. They want to see things cleaned up, built out in a quality of life fashion, and they've been doing that with 3rd Street. Then they have agreed to work with the 3rd Street development to allow certain pieces of their property to be used with the 3rd Street amenities. So my hat's off to Jenny and Mark. They've been here a long time and have been working on downtown issues for a long time, as well as other issues around Carson City. And while I'm on issues with respect to parks and mall things like that, I think it's important to remember that there is also in the planning stages a capital mall project that the state of Nevada is looking at. And that would be a capital mall project consisting of state office buildings, open space, green space, between Musser and 5th Street to encompass the old 5th Street Children's Home. And those areas are being integrated. At least Carson City is looking to make sure that whatever it does on Carson Street, Curry Street, and 3rd Street, and all of our streets are done in a manner that is compatible with what is being contemplated by the state for their state capital mall. These things are important for our community. They're important for the continued success of our community. And let me talk to close a little bit about, call it success, call it diversification, call it polishing the diamond in the rough. There is coming with Tesla the first chance, I think, for northern Nevada to diversify its economy. We've been trying to diversify our economy, at least as far as I can remember, for the past 30 to 35 years. And while we've made headway on it, we've never really been able to capitalize on it. In my view, the Tesla move, the Tesla acquisition, coming to northern Nevada, the northern Nevada region, provides a brass ring of opportunity that I think that our northern Nevada region should grab onto, because in the bottom line, it provides a way, it provides really a brass ring that we need to make sure that we use in a way that takes advantage of what's happening in the millennial world as we move into the 21st century. And I want to make sure that, you know, Carson City, from my perspective, is prepared to move into that millennial world at the same time. And I know that that's also on the state government's mind as well. These things are important because sustainability of our community is often on my mind. Now, we are making great, don't get me wrong, we're making great headway in terms of turning around the last 5 years of this recession. I think, as Congressman Amodei said the other night at a Northern Nevada Development Authority meeting, you know, the lights are on in Northern Nevada. Now the issue is, let's make those lights shine even brighter. I don't believe that Carson City is going to see a lot of the infrastructure problems that may come, or issues rather than problems, issues that may come with the Tesla construction at Tahoe Reno Industrial Center. But Carson City is uniquely situated to take on and accept new tech manufacturing, tech firms of smaller size, although I should say that there are some large firms looking at our community, but of the smaller size tech firms who want just a different quality of life than you might receive a little farther north. And I want to make sure, from my perspective as mayor, as your mayor, that we provide a quality of life in Carson City that is conducive to those types of businesses and those types of people, professionals that want to come here to start a business here or to move a business here, that we offer a quality of life that is unparalleled. And I believe that Carson City is uniquely positioned to do just exactly that. And we're positioned to do just exactly that because we have a great community. Communities are built by, we could talk about how they're built, but when you peel away all the layers of the apple or the onion or whatever you want to call it, communities are made up of their people. Communities are made up of their people. And we here in Carson City are terribly fortunate to have a lot of community people who every day seek to work to make Carson City a better place to live, work, and play. So many that I can't even mention, but I want to say that I think just about every one of us in this community wants to pull together to make sure that Carson City as the state capital presents not just a quality of life that people want to see, but presents an image of the state of Nevada that when others look at Nevada, they will see, when they go through Carson City, they will see the face of Nevada in Carson City, the face of the new Northern Nevada region. And in that regard, I want to make sure that whatever we do in Carson City here is compatible with the development activities that the state takes on. We want to be a partner with the state in all of its development activities, and so far we've done that, and we're going to continue to do that, and it's paying dividends. Let me close by just saying and repeating that communities are made up of people, and we have some of the best people in the world, all of us in this community, making sure that each and every day we provide a quality of life that's good for our seniors, good for our young people, good for our schools, good for our healthcare facilities, just a quality of life that is the envy of everyone. And so as I close, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for what you do to make Carson City a better place to live, work, and play. Thank you, and thank you for giving me the honor and privilege of being the mayor of the greatest city in Nevada.